Ik sta hier in de wijngaard van Tom Litwan, een Demeter gecertificeerd wijngoed in Aargau, het kanton Aargau in Zwitserland. Het is niet een heel groot wijnkanton, er zijn 400 hectare aan wijngaarden. De wijngaarden van Tom Litwan zijn grotendeels in dit gebied, in deze arena noemt hij het, gelegen, waardoor er heel weinig regen is. Het is heel droog en relatief warm, terwijl het toch aan de noordkant, dus aan de koele kant van de Alpen is. Tom staat hier naast mij. Hij maakt onder andere 2 schuimwijnen. En dat is de belangrijkste reden waarom ik met hem praat. En dat doe ik in het Engels. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Maybe you can tell us first how you got to wine, because it's not your original profession.
No.
But very early on, you started to make wine.
Yes, I was a bit like a master. Then I went to Burgundy for learning French. And I worked in a little chateau for, they do chambre d'hôte and table d'hôte. And I was 18 years old and fell in love with Chablis, Chardonnay and Burgundy red wines. And then I came back and I started apprenticeship in winemaking.
Here in Switzerland?
Here in Switzerland.
Good. And why did you choose to rent your plots here in Aargau? Because it's not sort of the best known wine region in the country.
No, but I think it's the terroir here are really beautiful. They're really chalky soils that express the Pinot and Chardonnay grapes and in the most beautiful way in Switzerland, I think.
And you say they're chalky soils. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Is it geologically the same as Champagne or Chablis or Jura or?
It's the same underground like Jura or like also Burgundy, but we are higher in altitude, so it's not the same. We have a little bit more rain than Burgundy or even Jura.
Right.
But we do here cool climate
wines. And the altitude also makes sure that it's relatively cool, at least at night. And
yes.
Okay, so you grow 75% Pinot Noir, so you make a Blanc de Noirs, but you also make a Petit Meslier.
Yes.
Which is very, very rare and uncommon.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to make a Petit Meslier?
It's a funny story. I got the Jancis Robinson dictionary from someone. I opened it and the very first article that I read was the Petit Meslier. So I read it and it seems to be interesting because it's early ripening, white grape for champagne. So I started to ask where I can get some plants, and I started to plant in 2010. It's 8 hours or something like this, and now we are planting. We had planted another 10 hours, and we are planting another 20 hours in 1 year.
And how are the results? How can you describe your Petit Meslier sparkling wine?
Very promising because it's the Petit Meslier. It's crossing from Savagnin and Gouache, and Savagnin should also be tested here in this region, I think, but I don't have time to do this also. But it's a creamy oxidation style champagne.
Okay. And do you export it?
Not for the moment.
So we can only get it in Switzerland?
Yes.
So you're quite popular among natural wine lovers, but you seem to be a little...
I'm not a natural wine lover, but I think the most dangerous thing is not the sulfur, it's the alcohol.
Tell us about it.
I think sulfur, it's the hypocrisy about it, but it's a natural winemaking. It's very difficult because winemaking is always a cultural thing. Wine doesn't exist without the human being, so it cannot be natural at all.
A little bit of sulfur is for you not a problem at all.
No.
And what is the problem with alcohol?
Alcohol is a poison.
So you're trying to make low alcohol wines?
No. I joking, but we all talking always about sulfur, but there is a lot more alcohol inside a bottle than sulfur, and about alcohol, anybody talks about it.
I understand.
I'm not from the Blue Cross.
So, apart from the Petit Meslier, you also make a Blanc de Noirs from Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is your most important variety. Why did you choose Pinot Noir? Why not more Chardonnay, for example?
Because I only have a very few of Chardonnay. I have at all a half a hectare. And later on I would like to do also a pure Blanc de Blanc. But for the moment I started at the beginning with the Blanc de Noir, then the Petit Meslier, and in a few years I think I will also do a Blanc de Blanc.
From Chardonnay. Okay. And your regular still red wines, they're all Pinot Noir?
Yes.
So the Pinot Noirs that you have here, I think we're standing in a Pinot Noir vineyard.
A part of this goes for the Blanc de Noir, and the riper part goes then for the red wine, still wine.
As everybody can see, there are a lot of grasses here in your vineyard. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy of how you farm the grapes?
Yes, we do it biodynamically, so without any synthetic spraying. We use copper and sulfur, but we use also some dandelion, all these teas.
Okay. Right now it's still early in the season, but everything looks very healthy. Do you have issues throughout the year normally, or you can manage them?
21 was very, very hard. At the end we lost 80% of the crop. But we had some mildew very, very early before flowering, and then during the flower we had 5 days of rain, so it was an explosion and it was burned.
So 21 was a disastrous year in many places, but in normal years
Yes, in normal years we are with in Swiss the copper is around 3 kilos hectare allowed, and we are in a normal year 1.5 kilo or less.
So quite low. Okay, wonderful. I think we're going to try your wines. Thank you very much.